Hello and welcome to Experts Adventure in Russia. I am Roxana and I hope you are spending a great time, guys. Today, guys, we've got an amazing guest. Meet Harry. Born in the UK with Indian roots, he is an entrepreneur, a tech expert, and most interestingly, he moved to Moscow for love. Yeah, so amazing and so romantic. And the best part, you can join the adventure no matter where you are. Catch us on Telegram channel, Instagram and Facebook pages Experts Adventure in Russia, or dive deeper into the discussion on the Russia Experts Info Chat. And do not forget to check out our YouTube channel, where we share short videos highlighting the fascinating topics discussed in our podcast episodes. Click the like button and share our podcast with your friends. So, folks, tune in and get ready to be captivated. Harry's journey is full of surprises, meeting his wife during lockdown in India, adjusting to life in Russia, and discovering what makes this country special. But it wasn't all easy. Language barriers, food struggles. Where is the spice? Oh, I'm Indian by my roots. And cultural shocks were all part of the ride. Before we dive into his story, here is something special, a song inspired by his journey. Let's listen it up.
I met you in the middle of the storm, a hostel room where love was born. Locked inside, but we were free. In your eyes I found the sea. No grand parade, no plans in stone, just hearts that knew we'd build our own. Strange roads, new skies, but I found my way through winter winds and long white days. This city's heartbeat pulls me near, a world unknown, but home is here. Cyrillic words, they twist and turn, but in their rhythm I start to learn. Spicy dreams, but Kartoshka's fine. Baltic a beer, let the night unwind. Throw off your coat, get ready to sweat. Steam rising high, ain't no regret. Cold water hits, it's fire and ice. Russian banya, paradise. Strange roads, new skies, but I found my way through winter winds and long white days. This city's heartbeat pulls me near, a world unknown, but home is here. Home is here. Distance makes the heart beat strong. Two cultures, one life, where we belong. Oh, strange roads, new skies, but I found my way through winter winds and long white days. This city's heartbeat pulls me near, a world unknown, but home is here. Home is here. Distance makes the heart beat strong. Two cultures, one life, where we belong.
So, Harry, tell us some words about you. Who is Harry, first of all?
First of all, thank you for having me here. It's very lovely to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm Harry. My proper name is Harjot Singh. I'm Indian, but I was born and brought up in UK all my life, nearby London. Did my education up in Edinburgh, which is in Scotland, and my master's down in Oxford, which you might have heard about. Predominantly come from an IT background. I studied AI and computer science. How do I put what I do? Been an entrepreneur pretty much all my life. Had 2 companies in the misinformation and decentralized labor spaces respectively, from both of which I've exited, and now I run a small venture capital fund that invests in IT companies, especially looking at AI and blockchain. And yeah, for the last 2 years I've been living in Moscow, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, so amazing, I should say. So living the whole life in UK, so that's great. So, Harry, so what drove you to move to Moscow?
Love, as I think a lot of times it happens.
Yes, well, 95% of experts come to Moscow for their loves.
I mean, as you say, once you find a beautiful Russian woman, there's no one more smarter, intelligent, fierce, and loving at the same time. Yeah, so I met my wife about 4 years ago in Rishikesh in India. We were stuck during lockdown together in a hostel. And you know how end of the world and all these scenarios were developing. We fell in love with each other. We moved in. We got married, and we were having a baby. And my wife Katya, she decided that okay, Russia is gonna be the best place for the first baby to arrive. So we moved here, at least temporarily. You know, it was supposed to be a 3-month trip, but looking at the infrastructure, looking at the quality of life, you just decided to stay here on and on and on. This place, once you get into the rhythm of it, it's very hard to leave.
Well, you moved to Russia, so everything is perfect and amazing from your words. So, what first challenge you faced here in Russia?
Oh, simply, I don't speak Russian. See, most people say that it's a very difficult language, and it is true, it's a very difficult language in the beginning. But I picked out how to read the language within the first 2 or 3 days, because if you just put your head to it, it's not that complicated. And if you can just read the words, at least that gets you 50% of the way going. After that, Google Translate, Yandex Translate, and also the curiosity of people, especially in Moscow and St. Petersburg, the big cities, to speak and practice their English makes your journey very easy. So if any of you are planning on moving here, the first thing you need to learn is this one simple phrase, which is "Yani gavri paruski izvinite." So,
Yes. And it works, yeah?
it works. That just means that I don't speak Russian. And yeah, you will go from there.
And your assimilation was easy or tough?
I think it was pretty easy in the beginning, just because I had the support, obviously, of my wife. And the best thing I think I did, because I was still working, is join a co-working space in the center of town. Because there you can meet a lot of like-minded people, business people, who have had experience, assimilation to the outside world as well. So non-Russian speaking people, English, Italians, Danish, what you have. And they will kind of ease your journey into this place. However, I will tell you, if you're like me and like good spicy food, it's gonna be a difficult journey. You have to assimilate with the food as well.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of meat and a lot of Kartoshka and potatoes, and not suited for everyone's diet, to be honest.
Yeah, our cuisine is very rich, so I mean, just in different dishes. So, and what's your favorite one?
Katleti Kartoshka, the best. And I do like a good sala as well, and some chorni kleb, which is black bread that you guys have. And if you can't find anything else, especially on the trains or something, your best bet is dasharak, which is your instant noodles. And get the red one is my recommendation, because they're spicy and nice.
So Indians are lovers for spicy food. Yeah.
Yes, here it's only salt and black pepper. I'm so sorry.
We're not accustomed to such spicy dishes.
But I would also recommend one thing. If you do like some interesting cuisine, it's just not Russian food that you get in Moscow especially, right? You have the Georgian food, Azerbaijani, and this will be more suited for palates of people coming from the Middle East, Asia, and it's good. And also for people coming from the Far East, like Asian countries, Russians surprisingly love sushi for some reason.
Yeah.
And pho. So you're gonna have no shortage of that. You just need to know where to find it.
Yeah, so you're not getting lost dishes in cuisine. So we have a variety of eats, so especially in Moscow. So many restaurants, many spot places,
Mhm.
so dish places.
I mean, it's a metropolitan. I don't know what
Yeah.
conception people have about it. You literally find anything you would find in London, if not better.
Yeah, I see. So let's back to your wife and your meeting. We have a podcast is like an adventure, experts adventure. So and we're interested in such kind of
Mhm.
things, maybe spicy a little bit. Yeah. So how did you make a proposal to your wife? Was it in a way of an Indian style, case style, or other option?
See, I don't know what your listening audience age is, so I'm not gonna make it too spicy. But as it goes, as I said, we met during COVID. We were locked in a hostel, basically, of 40 people, 35 different nationalities, and we were not allowed to go out anywhere. So we kind of built a commune there, where all of us would take turns cooking for each other at night. So if I'm cooking, for example, for 40 people, I would be doing that. We would have yoga classes, music lessons, whatever talent we could bring, we would do just to keep ourselves entertained for the 2 months that we were locked inside
Oh
this
my
big
God.
building. Yeah, but it was the best of times and the worst of
Yeah,
times.
sure.
And Katya was my neighbor, basically, across the balcony. So every morning I would come out for a smoke, and she would be there smoking, and we would get talking. And then, of course, we spent a lot of time together in the communal spaces. And basically, what was happening is I was about to leave because my dad organized permits and I was a foreign citizen, so I could just leave. And that was the last night I was cooking for everyone, just as a thing. And Katrina came to me and just said, "Why are you leaving? This is an adventure, blah, blah, blah." And so she helped me cook. That night, we just stayed up talking 16 hours. Next day, 16 hours. Next day, 16 hours. And suddenly, love hits you like a brick on the face. We spent 6 months in Rishikesh that year, where we had only planned to stay for a couple of weeks. Katrina was studying in India at the moment through a joint venture between the Indian and Russian government.
Oh,
So she was doing a Bachelor's of Science in Yoga Sciences and Consciousness, so a proper 3-year course. So she was doing that remotely. We were in Rishikesh, and then we decided, why not try one of the best places, which is Goa. So we moved to Goa, which is a beach town, as a lot of people know.
Romantic.
We got a small villa together and just stayed there. And I don't know, it was never like a very formal proposal that will you marry me or something like this. It was just a given, and we decided to just do it. Actually, the funny story is we got married, and I actually gave her the engagement ring after the marriage.
That's perfect. That's your story.
We had a nice beach wedding, and then we had a wedding in Gurudwara, which is a Sikh temple, because I'm Sikh, the turban-wearing people. And yeah, so we were driving back to our house after the guests have gone away, and I said, "Oh wait, I've not given you the ring." So we stopped the car in the middle of the road. Her friend from Russia was there as well. She recorded the picture, and I gave her the ring, and that's that.
No, so romantic, I should say, real.
She wouldn't agree with you now how romantic I am, but that's marriage, no?
Marriage is a routine, but nevertheless, spice should be in every marriage.
Absolutely.
Reflecting this story, you always smile.
I think we're gonna have a good night today after me remembering the story.
Yeah. Okay, and you have a baby.
Yes, we have a daughter.
So, daughter.
Yes.
What's your name?
Her name is Arya, the naughtiest, biggest hooliganka you've ever seen. She's 1.5 years old now, quite a character. I think she takes the worst of both the Indian and the Russian blood
Oh my
and combines it in together, and that is a fiery combination, if I'll tell you. Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
Yeah. Child is a child.
Okay, if you say so.
Okay. So, and what about your parents? Were they glad you married a Russian girl, so and moved to Russia as your living state?
I mean, I've been living away from them since I was pretty much 14. I've been living alone in a foreign country. So for them, it really doesn't matter where the person is from, as long as they're a nice person to me They make me happy, and I make them happy, vice versa. And with that, we're good for each other. And yeah, I think mom and dad are very happy with Katya. And mom loves Katya a lot because they're both shopaholics. They like collecting a lot of stuff. And this was always my complaint with my mom, that you have too much stuff. Well, God gives me a right kick in the ass with the karma, because my wife is twice the shopaholic. So I think they get along very well in that. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Warm relationship is the key to the health marriage and being together for a long time.
I think distance, though. I think a lot of people don't realize, but the further away from your in-laws that you can live is the best thing, because I live in Russia and my tyoshka is always here, which is your mother-in-law. I would say there is some truth to the statement that the distance makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, quite right.
So a loving, healthy relationship, but from at least 1 foot away.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. Okay, so and vice versa, your parents, were they amazed with the Indian guy as their son-in-law, or just?
I think, yeah, they're happy. They're happy, obviously. For them, it was a certain amount of assimilation required, obviously, because we have the language barrier. Her parents do not speak English at all. But I've seen the efforts her mum and dad have put in to learn a few phrases, few words. Katya's mum even tries to cook some Indian food for me sometimes, which is awesome, And
She loves you.
And these are the little gestures. And I think, yeah, maybe they're happy. And it's also a relief, to be honest, that I don't speak Russian that well, because as a lot of men, expats who have been married to Russian women, they will know that the tyoshka will put you to a lot of work if you can communicate well with her. So my advice is, even if you do speak Russian in front of your tyoshka, pretend you do not. You will live a happier man.
I see. So, was it hard for you just to collaborate with our traditions?
I mean, it's a very broad question, right? And see, coming from the UK, our language is the English we speak, and the way we phrase a lot of the things are maybe not the most polite things. We cuss in pretty much every sentence, and a lot of things for Russian men especially, or women, can be considered rude. However, once you get the grasp of it, it's pretty easy. And no, I don't think the culture was that strange, because for me, Russia is such a unique mix between Europe and Asia, where these, not just one, but thousands of cultures have collided for centuries and centuries at end, that it's become this very heterogeneous mix. And there are parts of Russia where I think, oh, it's just like India, because it's not as strict as Europe in terms of the regulations, the law, how you do deals, how you do business. It's a little bit under the table, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it can be very European with its infrastructure, with its way of life, the systematicness of it. Saturday, Sundays off. We do not know that in Asia. Off time, no working times. So no, I think just because of my unique upbringing as well, being Indian in UK, I've got the mixture of the Europe and Asia in me. Russia, same for me. And this is not Europe and Asia, right? Because when you say Asia, it's a very generalized statement. You get mixture of Central Asia here, you get some of the Eastern European touch, you get the Mongolian touch, because people just do not fathom the size of Russia. Russia extends from the edge of Europe on one side, with Poland bordering it, all the way to Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what, 11 or 13 time zones, I think?
11 time zones,
11
yeah.
time zones. Jesus Christ. So, there's a lot of difference the further east or west you go. And north and south as well. People forget that. You go touch south, you're touching Azerbaijan and Iran and Afghanistan. Dude, these are proper Islamic states which have their own unique blend of culture. So, yeah, how do I quantify Russia as one? I can never. How do I quantify Russian culture as one?
Yeah.
I cannot. So whatever it is, wherever you're from, I think you're going to find a piece of what you're comfortable with here.
Again, coming to Moscow for the first time, what disappointed you most of all?
Disappointments, really hard. Let me just think for a second. I couldn't say I was really disappointed with anything. No, honestly, there was nothing as such that disappointed me. Actually, my introduction to Moscow was very gentle. I landed in one of the airports in Moscow, Domodedovo. There was a nice man waiting for me at the airport with my name. Took me to Katya's friend's house, which is further north, a little bit outside Moscow. Nice house. We had shashlik the first day. I was introduced to Baltica number 7, which is, if you're coming to Moscow for the first time, the best beer ever. And you have to follow it up with some 5 Lakes vodka. And you are assimilated into Moscow on day 1. So my introduction was gentle, and they took me around. They showed me the center, a lot of the beautiful places. No, I don't think anything disappointed me as such. Just as I said, the language was a bit of a hassle, but once you get to grips with how to deal with it, it's not that difficult. And the more locals you meet, I would recommend actually going the other way around. Meet the locals, try to understand the language, get the basic phraseology in, and it will literally serve you 70% of the way. And it's not that difficult.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And I'm still thinking, how can you be disappointed? You walk on the street and it's like beautiful people walking around. And I'm coming as a married man, so I cannot say this, but if you're a single man coming to work to Russia, you're gonna have a great time. Or a single woman as well. But I don't think Russian men are known for their beauty, are they? No.
I bet.
There is a very funny statement in Russia that I've heard, that a man only needs to be a little bit more beautiful than a monkey.
Yeah.
So that shows you the culture. So everyone has a chance.
We are very big, so just our country is very huge, better to say. Well, no disappointment, just only joy.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, one thing does come to mind, which was the currency exchange, and the money has always been an issue. So as a foreigner, if you're coming for the first time, I would recommend getting foreign currency in cash is the best option. If you're dealing with crypto, that's even better, but I'm not going to go into there because regulation, government, I do not want to be on record speaking about it. But bringing foreign currency is good. You have cash exchanges everywhere. And the first thing I would recommend is opening a local bank account. So going to one of the top banks like Sberbank or Tinkoff or Alpha, it is literally a 30-minute process. You take your passport, you take your migration card, and that's it. They will open your bank account, and then you can access literally every service. That was a big hurdle for me because I did not know how to approach it, and when I was coming, it was a kind of a new situation as well, so people did not know what to do with it. But there is a community called Reddit. There's an app called Reddit. Go on Reddit, or if you are a Telegram user, go on Moscow Pals, and you will find all the information on how to handle this. But once these minor hiccups are done, easy breezy.
So, you've just mentioned about communities and you're involved in it. So, do you have any community, Indian community, or just UK community you just found here?
I'm the reverse kind of a person. If I'm going to a foreign country, I would like to assimilate more with the local culture. So most of my friends are actually Russian, and I try to hang out with them to learn more about their culture and teach about my culture. Because if you're going to a foreign country for a temporary amount of time, there's no point in hanging out with the same kind of people you know. What are you learning? What are you gaining?
Yeah.
Sometimes I do crave a good curry or a biryani. So I will go to this one Indian restaurant I know. I'll speak some Hindi. But then 99% of the time, I would rather hang out with the locals.
Yeah.
And that's the best way, right? There's so much to see here, so much to learn, so much to understand. From literature to the cuisine to the culture, that why should you waste your time hanging out with the same people? You can always go back home and
Sure.
do it.
Sometimes feel homesick, and they would like just to be closer to their communities, to their people they know very well. Just if you're, for example, Indian, you're looking for Indians. If you're, for example, Englishman, you're looking for the Englishman, and so on and so on. Yep. So maybe they would like just to feel some confidence in this case.
Absolutely. So if you're Indian, go to this restaurant called Darbars on Prospect Mira. A lot of Indians there
So
constantly.
one day is enough.
One day a month for me is enough,
Yeah.
but some people might want more.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of place where Indians hang out a lot. Because Prospect Mira and all this area is where the textile markets and all the students, when they
Yeah.
come for holidays from the medical universities, go there. If you're British, just hang out in an Irish pub, because that's where we're doing this interview as well. You're gonna find your mates here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just have a talk about your business. Just
Yeah.
some fact. Now you're an investment company, and is it really easy just to be adapted in business sphere here, apart from, for example, UK or just India or other countries?
See, I'm in IT business, right? I do own my own VC firm, which is good, and we're always looking at startups to invest money in. And I will say this thing to you, right? Even before I came to Russia for the first time, Russia is one of the countries where I can say the IT systems and the kind of talent you can find and the kind of ideas you can find is insane, especially in this IT industry. You have some amazing set of engineers, a little bit socially awkward, but that's all engineers anywhere across the world. And I think, as I said, I joined this co-working space where I can work from. One of the challenges was obviously getting the services up and running because of the sanctions and the situation now, but have a decent VPN and you can still access those services that you need to work. Otherwise, you will meet such cool entrepreneurs. You will see such great talent, people working on businesses you have not even thought about, solving their country's local problems. And yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like a couple of the companies in the West, we always know Google, right? Google does everything. In Russia, it's Yandex. Yandex for everything. And Yandex is not just one big company. It's got a lot of departments and it's got a lot of cool people that you can work with. They have their own startup incubators where they're incubating new startups, etc., etc. So yeah, co-working space, you meet these people, exciting ideas. Just due to the situation now, we cannot directly invest in Russian companies. But I think that situation is going to improve soon, and maybe we'll set up local operations. Who knows?
Sure, yeah.
And I think it's an exciting place to work, especially if you're in the IT or marketing sector, because I've seen the marketing sector is quite
Yeah.
big in Russia. A lot of marketing agencies here.
Yeah,
And very niche work as well.
I see. So no obstacles. Business, you've just...
Absolutely not. I mean, again, just because I do not work and practice my business in Russia, I come in a different kind of a visa. But obviously, if you're working for a Russian company, you have to make sure that you do the proper documentation, proper work, get your proper visas in order. But probably the companies you're working with will handle that for you. And if that's handled, no problem. You're going to have a great time.
Okay. Can you just share some experience, maybe funny story when you started working with the Russians for the first time? Maybe some interesting facts which amaze you, or just you even didn't realize that it could happen during your life, something
I
like
mean,
that.
there are no particular stories because I do not have many Russian colleagues, right? I just observe different people working in the co-working space. But I'll tell you one thing that was very strange is Russian people like to bring two shoes. They work to the office in one pair of shoes. They have another pair of shoes sitting in the wardrobe that they change into, and then they start working. I don't know. This was a very, very strange thing for me.
It's a kind of tradition.
It is a kind of tradition, but for me, that is like, it is pretty cool, but I've never thought about that, right? I don't know. I'll have to think about this for a second. Okay, the shoes was one thing. Your lunch. You guys are like British. You do not eat proper lunches. Your lunches are very quick from what I've noticed. 20, 30 minutes, bam, bam, bam. Maybe just go to the nearest Recusville or something, grab a sandwich and eat it. I'm used to more of a European lifestyle. I want to take an hour and a half, have a beer, maybe a glass of wine, have a nice lunch.
Yeah. So just only with the disappointment, I should say. Yeah.
Yes. Third thing, again, in UK we have a habit. After you finish work, the first thing is pub. Maybe for a pint or 2 pints. Maybe we're just an alcoholic country. Actually, misconception about Russia that they are an alcoholic country. No. I think Britain, India are much more alcoholic than Russia is. So no pub, because they want to go for their sports or massage or just go home and relax, and this just bothers me. Why can't we go for a pint? No, we need to stay fit. No, we need to go home. We have all these chores to do. Yeah. Not funny, a bit sad for me actually. But yeah, this is the funny things I've noticed. And also, I think you guys are very dedicated to your work. This is not a funny thing, but when you work, it's like work, no office, chat, bullshit. It's meet the targets, keep on going. Again, I don't understand that.
So like Japanese, so
Absolutely, with the shoes thing, for sure.
yeah, many traits we have those Japanese working and
Yeah.
so. And what about superstitious?
Oh, 222. Turning back and saying 222. No, actually, I like the superstitions because, again, there's Indian blood in me. And we have a
sure.
lot of those.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking you. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like some of them. I like this when you say something bad, which was just what I was doing because you cannot see me. It's an audio podcast only. I just realized. Is you turn your head back and you say 222, which is basically spitting in the back when you say something not nice so that it doesn't happen to you or it just wards off the evil spirits. There's one. Second is you cannot take your garbage out at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still don't understand the meaning of it. Does that mean your house gets robbed or some shit? I don't know. Third,
Something should be happened. You see, so subconscious feeling, and everybody worries about it. Maybe, who knows?
Okay, so no garbage outside at night. Okay, in the morning you will go and you'll keep the garbage out.
So,
Third one is you cannot whistle inside the house.
yeah.
And I'm a whistler. I have a daughter. Of course, I'm gonna whistle. I'm gonna make sounds. No, my Tyosha and Katya will beat me up if I try to do that.
Yeah.
Although they've assimilated a little bit now. But these are cute, These are cute traditions, and I don't think they're overboard. And
They're superstitious, not traditions.
superstitions are part of traditions, though.
Yeah, but
It's part of the culture.
but we just divide it. So traditions means celebration or just
Olivier
going to
salad on New Year's
banya,
Eve.
So going to banya or something like that. But superstitions, some kind of very dangerous and
Magical things.
yeah,
There is
yeah,
magic in it.
magical.
Oh, I love that about this as well, that you guys believe in this kind of black magic and evil and voodoo. See, this is what I said.
Blood.
Yes, see, this is what I said. It's a mix of Asia and Europe because part of you guys is so analytical. It's like bam, bam, bam. But then other one is like, oh, you said something bad. I love the contrast and how it comes together. I love it. I appreciate that. These are the only ones I know. I'm just thinking about the other ones. I mean, you have some strange stuff as well, like how. Oh no, never mind. We'll cut this bit. But yeah.
Okay. So, and how do you spend your free time with family? So,
I have free time?
yeah. So when you have free time.
No, that's a question. Do I have free time?
That's the question.
Yes.
So no free time.
No, I do. When do I do get the free time? It's see, I'm gonna tell you the kind of age my daughter is at. She is very difficult to deal with, and kind of the work I do. It takes a lot of my resources and a lot of my time. But when I do get the chance for my me time, I go to banya. If you have not experienced it, is the best thing on this bloody fucking planet. Go to a banya, preferably Sanduni, because that's my favorite, and you will come out a new, fresh-born baby. I do have a few friends, so we like to watch sports together. Football is a big thing here, so if you come for UEFA Euros, FIFA World Cup, you have a lot of these pubs that show these games, so we get together, we watch the sports together. Sometimes just drinking at the local Rumichnaya, which is where they serve this local alcohol, which is not vodka, it's called nastoika, which is kind of flavored spirits, around 18 to 22% if I'm not wrong. and they come in different flavors, everything from berry to maracuya to
Herb.
herbs, and you just drink these and have a great time with these little fried fish that I hate. These little skinny ones. So, drinking, just doing normal things that you would do anyways. Otherwise, if I'm with my family, we go for a walk. Moscow is very great in the sense that you have a lot of these beautiful big parks that you can walk into. Breda, Gorka, or even in the local areas where you live, you have these parks. You go have a nice walk in this nature, and you can be smack in the center of the city and still get that experience of the nature. We do that. Mostly that. That's what I'm thinking. Walks and drinking and watching sports and dunking into very cold water.
After banya.
After banya. Oh yes.
Okay.
There's
So
a
you
ritual
love
to
it.
banya. There's a ritual to banya. I don't know whether I should go into that, but there's a particular ritual that you should go to.
So, it's not typical for experts to love banya with in such skill like you do.
I had the best introduction, I think, because a couple of my friends took me from my co-working space. One who comes from Khabarovsk, which is the Far East, and the other one from Uzbekistan, but he's lived in Moscow for the longest time. I don't know why you guys are not doing it. I'm telling you, the recipe is this. Go to Sanduni, walk up. If it's your birthday, you get it for free. If not, you pay a small amount. Go to the top floor. Sit. It's a Victorian looking building. You sit down, get completely naked, by the way, and that's how it should be.
It's banya.
It is banya, and it's on male only and female is separate, so do not get wrong ideas. You chill there, you get completely naked, you order some chai, you order some beer, some kilbasa, which is these like sausages, eat a little bit, go into the bathing rooms, go into this extremely hot, humid rooms with herbs in the air, sit until you sweat, and I forgot, you wear these funny looking cute hats,
Yeah.
which I love. Then you immediately after you dunk into very cold water, and you keep on repeating the cycle between the hot and the cold, hot and the cold. Then you take a break, go back to the resting area, eat some more food, drink some more beer, and repeat the cycle. And if you're lucky enough, one of your friends is gonna have these big leaves called venik, I think,
Yeah.
and they're gonna beat your body up with this in the hot room, and that will just make you feel so bloody good. Again, hot cold until you feel like you're about to pass out or sleep. Come out, feel the fresh air, and you're a new man. If you've not done this, if you've been an expat, please, I do recommend go and do this and experience this.
Newly born person, yep.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm just speaking about this more because I experienced this yesterday again because it was a couple of very hot weeks in the summer, so I did not go. But yesterday I went. Oh my god, I still have that energy in me now.
Yeah, it really works in a great and positive way, not only for the body, just for brain.
Yeah.
Either, just clear up everything.
Yeah, it's like fresh, clean slate, all the worries, because you just forget, right? The blood pressure goes up, blood pressure goes down, and this has shown medically so many benefits through the years. People are practicing this Hoffman method or whatever it's called, where they dunk into ice cold water.
Yeah.
Hoffman method, right? I think it's called. Maybe I might be incorrect. Just fact check me later. But Hoffman method is where people dunk into this ice cold water and stay there for 20-30 minutes. Banya is pretty much similar, but you alternate between the hot and cold.
Oh, okay.
And it's shown medical benefits.
We have such a tradition on the 19th of January.
Oh yeah, I know. I know.
People
Right after the New Year's.
Banya, and after it, they just swim,
In the cold.
dive, better to say, into the cold water. We call it prorub.
Mm-hmm.
So they dive it, yes, but it's dangerous somehow.
Do not do it in the public waters, I would say.
Yeah, sure.
Because you see horror stories. People
Yeah.
get pumped up and do this shit, but you do not know how fast the river is flowing between the icy sheets, right?
Yeah.
So do it in a banya. You will still have that cold, freezing water. Do not do it in public. Or do it in your friend's dacha.
Yeah,
Yes.
why not?
Yes.
So that's the perfect way
Yes.
just to spend your free time. It's next morning be a newly born person.
Newly born
In
person.
new-
But
yeah.
if you go to your friend's dacha, you will be surprised with a lot of vodka and nastoika.
So you've experienced, yes?
Been there,
Just-
done that.
Yeah, vodka is a very tough
Uh,
drink. Everybody be cautious with it, but nevertheless, everybody loves it.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. Great culture, very friendly culture.
So, and after some shots of vodka, everybody speaks one language.
Yes.
That's the main thing I should
I
say.
speak Russian, they speak English, we speak something. Actually, if you read a book called A Clockwork Orange, which is a very famous classical book, where they have what do you call a mixture of a language between Russian and English, and it's a couple of basically gopniks in UK, set in postmodern UK, that they are existing. That's how we all look like after a couple of rounds of vodka.
Yeah, yep, sure. Okay, so you love going to banya, walking around the city with your family. What's your favorite place which you really like and feel very comfortable?
In Moscow,
Yeah.
I mean, my bed is one for sure, but the other one would be just because I've lived here for a long time. I like the center, which especially the Kursk area, just because access to the transport is fantastic. You have the good metro system. By the way, people who are coming from abroad, there is no better metro in the bloody world than Moscow Metro. I'm telling you this, London Underground ain't got shit over this.
Yeah.
Okay.
New York as well, yeah.
Oh, New York is terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Disgusting, I
Yeah.
should say, yeah.
The metro stations here are beautiful. Everything is written in English. You can navigate. It's cheap, and it's so convenient. You have all these apps that tell you how to get from point A to point B the fastest, and it's pretty logical, not like the older metro systems that exist around the world. So anyways, Kursk metro is there. You have your train station there, and it's smack in the center with the nearby areas like Chisty Prudi, Krovka Ulitsa, which is full of bars and theaters and cultural centers, exhibition centers. So I do love this area. And the architecture is very nice as well, because Moscow is kind of made up of rings, let's say. You have the central ring, which is Sadovaya. Then you have the third ring, which is kind of the second ring. And then you have the MKAT, which is the outer ring, which kind of forms the boundary of Moscow. So the center ring is full of these amazing looking buildings. I'm looking at one right now as I speak, which I call the Stalinkas.
Stalinka, yep.
These are
Stalin style,
yeah.
yep.
These take up a block with almost 2-3 meter ceilings, big windows, and I just love looking at them. I love the architecture in Russia. Everything from the Stalinkas to the Khrushchevkas and the Brezhnekovs. I love it all. But in the center, you get to see them, and it's stunning. And you get a view of the 7 towers. One of the Krasny Vorota one is there.
Yeah. So the
and
main buildings.
Yeah, and not the Seven Sisters. Seven Sisters is name of 7 buildings.
Buildings, yeah.
One of which is on this place called Krasny Vorota, which means Red Gates. And these are like these massive towers. The most similar you can find is probably the Empire State Building, but they're residential, so you can actually go and rent an apartment there, and it's bloody awesome. And it's so cool. It's like something from a dystopian future. I love the architecture. I love the space of it. I love the access to everything. So yeah, Kursk, I would recommend 10 on 10.
I should say that you're living nearby.
I mean, I used to. Now we've got a flat very far away, but we needed more space, which is in an area called Novogirivo.
Oh, yeah, it's far from. Not far.
20 minutes by metro.
Yeah, surely. I mean, just from Sadovaya, sir.
I still work here. My office is right here in Kursk, so I come here every day. But yeah, I mean, if you have a big family in the center, you're gonna be hard pressed to find apartments that suit
unfortunately,
your size and the budget, because now surprisingly the rents are pretty high in the center. But these outskirts areas, like especially for me, I like the east side of Moscow more than the west side.
Yeah.
So not Kutuzovsky and stuff. I prefer the east side. So areas like Izmailovo, Sokolniki, Novogirivo, Perovo, or maybe even Ryoto, which is past the city boundaries, but these are very good, nice areas for families to live in.
they are much more bright and vivid. Apart from West, these spots are a little bit reserved. So and
They're more industrial as well in their
yeah,
sense.
yes, so and very cold.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Better
Yeah,
stay cold because Eastern part is just much more warm, really very exciting, and for living it's really
I
perfect
prefer the
place.
East, yeah. Or the North as well to a certain extent. You know, the North, Northeast, this kind of area.
Yeah.
I would just recommend never live on Leninsky Prospect.
Oh my god, yes, totally agree. Because Leninsky Prospect is very busy.
I live there
every
as well.
time,
I
yeah.
live there as well. There is no good metro. I mean, Park Gorky is there, so it's a nice thing, but shopping is a hassle. You do not have
Yeah.
access to amenities. You just
Yeah.
have to walk for miles
It's
to
very
get anything.
complicated, though, really. For living, it's not so good. Yeah. For a couple of days, when you're a tourist, maybe it's okay because you're concentrated on in center. It's just the access to the center is pretty easy. But if you're a tourist, but not for living.
But I think most tourists would preferably live on Tverskaya, which is that area going to where the Kremlin is, or Novi Arbat, or areas like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what most
yes,
tourists
yeah,
do.
yeah. Because it's they would like just to walk the day long. Coming to their apartments is just easier when you're concentrated and located in the center.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I suppose it works with all tourists, the whole world.
I wouldn't, yeah, absolutely. You see, but living in those areas, it's just tourists. You do not get the real vibe of what Moscow
Yeah,
is.
sure.
And I mean, I've been guilty of that for the first 1 month or so after I was with my wife's friend's house. I spent a month on Novi Arbat, just doing the rounds. And I'm not going to tell you which kind of rounds I was doing because there are a lot of interesting rounds you can do in that area as well. But you can find good hotels, you find good bars, you mostly find people who speak English properly, and it's an easy, gentle introduction. But after a while, you want to assimilate into the local culture, as I said.
Yeah, sure.
And so you would look at more of, as we said, because we both agree here, I think
yeah.
the east side is better. So Kurskaya, guys, Kurskaya, representing.
Okay, so you love metro, though you're amazed with it. And one more question. What about our winters?
I love them.
Really?
I absolutely love the cold weather. My wife hates it, as I think most Russians do. But for me, I have a very simple theory. If it's too hot, you can take off all your clothes and still be okay. But if it's too cold, it's not a problem. Just keep on putting more and more and more and more clothes on until you are warm. What is the problem? Heat is the problem. Cold is not the problem. The snow is beautiful, and I have to tell you, Moscow looks stunning in the winter with snow everywhere. The city is lit up, light reflects on the snow, the city shines bright, and the infrastructure is so good that the moment there is heavy rainfall or snowfall, people come and clear the streets. So you have a path, at least in the center they do, right? You have a path through the city, you can walk, the cars are still driving okay. I don't know, I just love it. And all you need is a good ushanka.
Yeah.
I do have a good ushanka and some good snow boots, and you're sorted. And it's also fun, because a 10-minute walk will take you 30 minutes, but it's like skiing almost to wherever you're going.
Sometimes, yeah.
And it's adventure.
Really tough adventure, I should say. It's very amazing that you are not the first expert person could tell me about love.
For the winter.
Yeah, for the winter. But it's really very amazing because I hate winter, really.
I think all Russians do, from what I read. Everyone of
So because we have just 6 or 7 months of it, we're fed up with winter, and it's very, very difficult for us.
So you like it when it's hot outside in the,
Now it's okay, but I'm waiting for the harsh time, the winter. Yeah.
I think it's very romantic, it's very cozy, it's very beautiful. I don't know.
The first part is so when it's, for example, December, the first snow, the feeling of New Year's coming, when you're waiting for celebrations, it's okay. After it's hot time.
Yeah, but you guys have amazing infrastructure, right? You guys are equipped for winter properly. Inside the house, it is boiling because of your old tubes with the hot water flowing through them. It is roasting. Sometimes you still have to open the window in the winter because it gets...
Sometimes, yes, so it's really very
Yeah,
hard. Yeah.
but the one thing that surprises me about you guys is the amount of infrastructure you guys have developed. Maybe it's from the Soviet times, maybe it's in the last couple of years, I do not know.
No, it's coming from the
Soviet
USSR,
times.
yeah.
No, just love it. Because, online you read and it's like it's some deep, dark place which still looks like a forest with, as you guys said, bears drinking vodka just walking down the street. That's not the case. I will tell you honestly, with the public health infrastructure that you have, an ambulance comes within 2 minutes of calling. The drunk people who you might find anywhere in the world are still taken care of by the ambulances, by the emergency systems, and in such a fast and, guess what, free manner. It is amazing. Like, as I said, my wife gave birth here, and the kind of treatment she got for free was insane. And how respectful they were towards me, being there present for that entire procedure. Amazing. We have some problem, we call them, 2 minutes, they're there. The infrastructure you have in terms of the quality of the roads, not everywhere, but mostly, insane. Dude, we are in the center. It's a bloody 8-lane highway with an 80 kilometers per hour speed limit. It's smack in the center of town. You know what happens when you go to the center of London? It's like one narrow road which is cobbled straight with a speed limit of maybe like 2 kilometers an hour. And this infrastructure has just impressed me, be it the metro, be it the health system, be it the transportation. The trains are fantastic. I'm sorry, I went from winter to the trains, but I love the trains here. I love the Sapsan, but I love your cozy little coaches and your dining cars and your little samovars with the hot water to make your dasharak in. Amazing. People have a lot of misconceptions, and I think you should just come and see it for yourself, how it's going to be. Especially in the winter, even better.
Okay, I see. Thank you for your warm words about our winter. Maybe after your words, I will rethink my opinion to the winter. Why not? Well, coming to the conclusion, I would like just to ask you a very philosophical question. Do you understand Russian soul? Somehow.
I think I understand the Russian soul. The Russian soul, from my perspective, and I might be completely wrong, might look very hard and cold on the outside, very unwelcoming, but that's just the situations that have been for a long time. That just might be the language barrier. Break open that and you will find the warmest, gentlest, loving, slightly alcoholic slightly people who want to show you what their culture has to offer, what their traditions have to offer, what their superstitions are. And they've never had the opportunity because the society here, the kind of people here, have been stigmatized for so long by certain Western media narratives. And yeah, that's not the truth. And I think maybe might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Come here, experience it for yourself, see how you get treated, and if you have a different answer to a Russian soul, find a Russian girl, and then we'll discuss.
Great words, I should say. Great tip for experts who are coming to Russia, or maybe who are going to, or thinking to come. The great tip, I should say. From Guy.
I'm
yes.
married man, remember, I'm married, Katya, I love you, okay?
Katya is a very happy girl, I should say. Why not having such a great person as you?
Thank you, you're very kind.
Yeah. Thank you, Harry, for coming to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing such great experience with us. So it was really like a fairy tale for me. So it's just, I was all in ears, so because it's really very interesting and amazing.
Thank you so much, and it was lovely having you guys here as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.